Hi, loves. It's Sean. How are you? And welcome to Shanda Says. It's Thursday evening. I wanted to do my video a little earlier, but the day got busy and I was unable to record earlier. But I am here right now. How are you? How has your week been going? Tonight's topic is all about sex. Yeah. Last week I did a video on what we do to keep our partners happy and excited when it comes to sex. But what I wanted to ask you guys, and I'm basing this on emails that I received, is just how happy we are with our sex lives and just how happy are we in our relationships. And I find that a huge portion, I'll say 60% of us, are not happy. We're just not happy. And I thought about why. Why is it that we are in relationships and marriages where we are not being sexually fulfilled or we are not being emotionally fulfilled? And how is it that years and years and years go by and we stay in a situation that does not foster us in a way that makes us better people? Do you guys get where I'm going with this? Like, let's take the sex part. A lot of times people don't perceive as sex as being a very important part of a relationship. They feel like that's maybe a second tier um, choice when it comes to finding the perfect mate. Because if you're looking for a good woman, she keeps a clean house. She's about her business in terms of her career. She's all these great things, but she's not that great in bed. So I could deal with her not being great in bed, or vice versa. He's a great provider. He's a great dad. He's good to me, but in bed he sucks. But the reality is that is going to come back and bite you. And that is going to come back and haunt your relationship or your marriage, because the reality is you have to have good sexual chemistry for you to be happy. And many times, a lot of us sacrifice that. And we go years and years and years without being sexually fulfilled. Now, let's just say, on the other hand, you have a wonderful sex life, but your relationship is horrible. You're arguing all the time, you're fighting all the time, you know, you probably suck at being a dad, or you're not a great mother. But in bed, it works. And there are many of us that stay in those kind of relationships for such a long period of time. So how do you get to a place of a happy median? My feeling is this. I have found in my life that normally how I start a relationship and how I set the tone from the beginning will naturally run its course through the relationship. So let's say I'll take me and my husband, me and Scoop, for instance. When me and my husband first got together, you know, I had been through my share of, I was married before. I had, after that marriage, I had booty calls. I ain't gonna lie. I was a single woman. I enjoyed being single. I loved doing what I was doing. Um, I've always protected myself in terms of intimacy and using condoms and things. But I could say I'm pretty much like a dude. If I wanted to do something, I did it. And, as long as I didn't feel I was being disrespectful to myself or exposing things to my child, I had fun. Me and my girlfriends had a good time. But the reality is, when it got to meeting someone of substance for me, which, at that time was Scoop, and meeting him, I knew what I wanted in a man by that time, based on my past and based on my experiences and based on my growth. So when we started dating, and there were things about him that I didn't care for, or just little flags to me that came up, I was very vocal, very vocal. Now, if Scoop was to do a video, he'll tell you, I'm a very vocal woman. And I get on here and I do these videos, and I'm not always being perfect, but I want to convey to you how important communication is. Be it your emotional part of your relationship or the sexual part, the intimacy of your relationship. You have to say very early on, once you come to that place of, okay, we're a couple, you have to be very clear about what your needs are and be very clear about expressing yourself. Because it's just like if you go to McDonald's, you walk in there to order something. How do I know what you want? How do I know what you want? I don't know what you want. So you have to tell me when you come up to the counter, you have to say what you want. And that's the same thing in a relationship. When it comes to intimacy, I am not afraid to say, listen, you're not hitting that spot, so we need to work on that. Well, you need to work on that. I'm also good at receiving instruction. If I'm using too much teeth, my husband said, you're using too much teeth. Okay, so I pull back on the teeth. Excuse me, guys. Again, my phone goes off. You know this is Shanda, because every time, you know what this is, guys? I'm going to just say real quick. This is eBay, because I've been an eBay fanatic, but that's another whole other thing. But when it comes to relationships and intimacy, you have to be able to convey what you want. And the reality is that a lot of times, many of us, even when it comes to our family and how we live, people will tell you all day long what you need to do. But if you were brought up in a situation where you didn't see that kind of stuff going on with your parents, you may not be as vocal. It may not be if you're not exposed to it, it's hard for you to express what you want in a relationship or what you want from your sex life. Here's the thing, and I say this all the time, and now that I'm older, I've been through some things. But the reality is, as you get older and you go through stuff, you realize, you know what? I have one life. This is it. If we're blessed, we live in the hereafter. We do right here, to be absent from the body, to be present with the Lord. That's a whole other situation. But while you're here, you have to live a life that fulfills you in terms of happiness and fulfillment. So the way to receive that is being open enough to receive it and being in a position to say, you know what? I love me. I love this when it comes to sex, and I need this when it comes to the emotionality of my relationships. And if you're in a relationship or a marriage that doesn't feed you emotionally and intimately, and it goes on and on and on and on for years, at some point, you can't complain to your family and you can't complain to your girlfriends or your boyfriends or your guy friends that you're not happy, because at some point you have to accept some accountability for your unhappiness. Because the years that we waste, we don't get those back. It's not like God said, oh, you were with the wrong partner. Here's the 10 years you lost because you were with this bum. Or you was with this chick. You don't get it back. So you got to get to a place of strength where you know what you want in life. And you know what you want in terms of your sex. And you know what you want from your relationships. Now I want you to repeat this with me. And I'm not afraid to. Sometimes I'm afraid because I'm married. But there's a part of me that's so open that I don't think. So let's just say as a woman, your husband or your man isn't going down on you and you really want that. I'm going to give you an example of, if you don't know how to ask for that, how you would say it. And I'm going to pick a totally random time. Now, normally, a man is more open to receive information, and you go by your man because you know when he's more apt to receive. If it's right after work, come on, he needs a minute to unwind or whatever. But if it's during the time when you're alone and you got a little time where you feel he can receive this information, this is what you're going to do. You're going to say, babe, I need to talk to you. You go, yeah, what's up, what's up? Yeah. Um, I don't want to hurt you, but as your woman, I have to tell you that when it comes to when we make love, there's certain things that I don't feel you're addressing, and I feel like I want that from you. And as much as I'm wanting it, I'm willing to give it to you as well. Well, what is it? What are you asking me? I want you to go down on me. I want you to make love to me with your mouth. Down there. That starts the conversation. Because with men, it's all in how you ask. Now, with a woman, if your woman isn't doing certain things you want, your woman is more receptive at certain times as well. So, as a guy, sometimes we women need a little buttering. But here's the thing, who wants to lube up emotionally every time they need something? You want your relationships to come to a place that if you need or want something, it's only how you ask, and you just say, babe, this is what I need. This is what I want. I'm not fulfilled. If you're with a partner who continuously ignored your needs, then it's something that you have to think about and you have to reevaluate. As harmful and painful as it is to think, can I keep going on like this? Maybe I can't. I'm going to leave you on this note. Sometimes relationships that we need to walk away from, sometimes the love for the relationship is bigger than love for self. And that's not a good thing. So anyway, tonight's question is for the comment section. How many of you are comfortable and happy with your sex life and your emotionality of your relationships? Are you happy there? Are you happy both? Are you happy with one? And what do you plan to do to change things? Hit me up and let me know. Shanda says one at gmail.com. Leave your comments, not only just for me, but everyone else that reads the vlogs and that watches the vlogs. And you can follow me on Twitter at Shanda Says, and you can order the Gemini collection at curvista.com. I love you. We'll be back here very soon. God bless you, and we'll talk. Bye-bye.